Hello, it's me, Coco. By now you've heard of the metaverse, but is it sustainable? Today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons and finish up with my final thoughts. Let's go. First, let's talk about the cons. When it comes to the metaverse, there are two main things that are concerns. Number one is the electricity that's taken to store the data and to create the AI that's necessary for the immersive experience that is perfectly tailored to every user. The metaverse and these data centers have been pointed at and blamed for causing a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. But is it the metaverse itself? In my opinion, the metaverse is an application that takes energy to create and to use. But do those greenhouse gas emissions come directly from the metaverse? No, the greenhouse gas emissions come from the energy that powers those servers. So if those servers and computers are powered by renewable energy, then greenhouse gas emissions are at least cut significantly, if not eliminated altogether. But that's not to say that they're not a concern, because we're just not there yet. Microsoft and Amazon Web Services have declared that by 2025, they will be at least carbon neutral, if not on totally renewable energy, and Google has stated the same thing for 2030. So how is this possible? Because 2025 is like right around the corner. According to some people, the energy that's used to power these cloud services or AI machines could be used to keep people's lights on, for example. But actually, a lot of these data centers are located off the grid with their own renewable energy sources right at the site. After all, you only need an abundant source of energy and a hookup to the internet and the hardware in order to mine crypto or to set up one of these data centers. So it's not really necessary to be on the grid. We do have to be really careful though, because especially programming AI is super energy intensive. OpenAI's DALL-E used approximately the equivalent of 100 homes' yearly electricity use just to program it. And that's just one program with like a pretty specific use case. So imagine what it's going to be like when nearly every advertisement or landscape that we see is powered or programmed by artificial intelligence. I don't know. I think that might be pushing it a little bit too far. Another big con is the hardware itself. A big problem in the consumerist world in general is that a lot of products are built with planned obsolescence in mind, so that you have to buy new products. In the technology world, things move so fast that it is necessary to upgrade your equipment in order to stay competitive. This has the potential to lead to tons of electronic waste. Actually, it's already happening. And I don't think that this is really sustainable until we can find better, more circular economies for our electronic products. Of course, as an individual, you can counter this by getting your electronics secondhand. I do for all of my electronics, but this is really an industrial problem that really needs to be addressed at the top. The Microsofts, the Googles, the Amazons. What are they doing in order to make sure that their hardware is sustainable? And is it part of a circular economy? Are these computers able to be recycled properly or repaired if they break instead of just thrown out with another one purchased to take its place? There is a finite amount of some of the materials that are used to make batteries and processing chips, etc. And we need to make sure that those resources are used responsibly and also that they're mined responsibly, because sustainability isn't just about carbon emissions, it's about the whole picture, including human rights, and that includes the humans who are mining those materials. So that's about the cons. Let's talk about the pros. One of the biggest pros to the metaverse is that it allows people to gather for large events or even small events from very far away, including for conferences and concerts and any kind of special events, maybe metaverse weddings, anybody? This drastically cuts down on the airline industry, since planes flying up in the air is one of the biggest polluters. Another way that the metaverse can lead us to a more sustainable lifestyle is by storing things in the cloud. Even though it does take energy to store things in the cloud, like I mentioned before, it can be on 100% renewable energy. And also it cuts down on paper, which is one of the biggest waste materials on the planet Earth. I mean, what a shame. We're growing these trees, cutting them down, making paper just to throw it away. That doesn't really sound sustainable to me. And on top of that, data centers are getting smarter and smarter. A 2020 analysis in the journal Joule found that while the server, storage, and network workloads hosted by the cloud data centers increased 2,600% from 2010 to 2018, energy consumption for all data centers rose less than 10%. And you could easily expect this trend to continue as time goes on and as the adoption increases. Another thing worth noting is the digital fashion in the metaverse. Theoretically, digital fashion in the metaverse could slow down the fashion industry in real life. We all know that it's not a secret how toxic the fast fashion industry is for the environment. Digital wearables in the metaverse can be just as fabulous and amazing, but with a tiny fraction of the negative environmental impact as anything that you could buy from the mall. And high fashion brands are already adopting digital fashion. Balenciaga, Dolce & Gabbana, and Rebecca Minkoff are just a few of the brands that have been playing with digital wearables. And then on another note, and this is kind of more of a human rights note, the cool thing about the metaverse is that you can be whoever you want to be. Your avatar doesn't have to match how you look in the real world. And so for that reason, it might be really amazing and liberating for people who feel like they can't feel like themselves in their regular body and they can dress themselves and be whoever they are in the metaverse. It makes me think about the future for people with visible physical disabilities or people with gender dysphoria, how they can walk about the world just like everybody else and not have to worry about eyes staring at them or people treating them differently. And now for my final thoughts. The metaverse has some really interesting, promising applications for daily life in the future, but we have to go about it really smartly. First of all, we have to make sure that the metaverse is powered by renewable energy. To me, I don't think that carbon neutral is good enough because carbon neutral will keep us really on this terrible path of climate change. We need to go for carbon negative and total renewable energy. It looks like some parts of this industry are actually moving there faster than other parts of society, like anything related to the government, gas-powered mail trucks. So a massive shift to renewable energy as well as circular economies for hardware are going to be essential for us being able to use the metaverse in an eco-friendly way. Do I think it's possible? Yes, I do. We're already halfway there, although I think there is a lot of work to do in terms of having recyclable and circular economies for the digital hardware. I'm open to any suggestions or resources if any of you have any. But even though it's not perfect, I think it's really important for environmentalists to get on board and use the metaverse and help shape it as it grows up. So we can quibble about the environmental effects of the metaverse in our own circles and bubbles as much as we want, but in my opinion, this train is on the tracks, the wheels are moving, and it's going to leave the station with or without the environmentalists. And if people write off cryptocurrency, NFTs, the metaverse, whatever, because of environmental concerns, they're not really going to be considered as the target market for these products, and so they won't be catered to what our needs and preferences are. But if we are open to it and we're part of the daily process of iterating and making these systems the final version that they're going to be, or final version, because they're always going to be improving, but we need to be at the table, and in order to be at the table, we need to be open to using it. I hope that gives you some food for thought. If you want to learn more about conscious crypto, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll see videos from me every week. I'm also active on TikTok, so you can follow me at Hello Coco Shin. If you like this video and you want more people to see this content, hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. And leave comments in the comment box so we can just discuss about all of this crazy world that we're living in. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!